Hello and welcome to My Retro Watches. This episode is about the restoration of the Seiko watch hands. Now let me just try and zoom in a little bit here. They've got what is called lume rot, where the lume is gone black in places with mould. There's also a lot more going on these, and I'm going to try to improve them just using some basic tools that I've got around my bench. How successful I'm going to be, I don't know, but let's find out. So I'm going to put it on the microscope to start with. Let's have a real close-up look at the problem. So here we are on the microscope at times 20, and you're looking at the hour hand there, and you can clearly see the rot that I'm talking about. There's also some tarnish going on by the side of things, possibly even some oxidization. You can see it everywhere quite clearly there, and then down the minute hand as well. Just as bad. Some of the indices, excuse me, but the camera's going to play havoc with me on autofocus here. So again, I think some of that is just oxidization. So we can tidy some of the indices up. The hand is going to be a challenge, but I'll have to see what I can do. I'm curious as well. I'm just going to turn the microscope on to times 40. Now I'll get a bit washed out, I'm afraid. I've got a feeling my lens is a little bit filmed over or something. But there we go, we can kind of get in a little bit closer, can't we? You can see autofocus is having a really hard time of this. Just trying to see if I could put the lock on, whether that's going to make any difference. There we go. So right close up, that looks absolutely horrible, doesn't it? So any improvement is going to be good. So the plan is to obviously remove the hands first of all, and remove that lume, and then work with them and see what we can do. So let's get back to the bench. So okay, I've got all the hands lined up. Just use a little bit of polythene, and I use Horotech 2.5mm hand removers or hand levers, and these I've found, just need to move it a little bit, are the best tool in the world for removing hands, and I've tried every tool going. Just find that these always do the job. They're pretty safe, don't scratch the dial, and there we go, hands are off. Okay, so I need to remove the old lume. So I've got the hands, this is the back of the hands, and I use either a bit of pegwood or even my tweezers, and I'm just gonna, this is not going to film very well because they're so small, and I just scratch away, and the pegwood at the moment is just starting to break through, as you can see. Now if I find them a bit stubborn, and ironically these are becoming a bit stubborn, I can see already, what I'm going to do is bring in my little jar of IPA alcohol. The IPA hopefully shouldn't do anything to the hands, but it should at least soften the lume. So I'm going to put them in there, leave them in for a little while, and the next bit you'll see is them hopefully softened and able to remove it a bit easier. So here's the hour hand, and let's just see if that's going to come off a bit easier now. It's only been in the alcohol about 5 minutes, and already you can see that's going to be coming off nicely. Now I need to get a bit close up with my loupe to make sure I remove it all, so I'll do that bit off camera, and then we'll inspect them under the microscope and see how good a job we have done on the removal. So we can now see that there's still quite a bit to come off, certainly in that one, and I can try and do that on the scope if my eyes are as good. Sometimes I'm not in focus, that's the problem. So at this stage, just going to use pegwood, and you can see it is coming off a lot easier, but still quite a long way to go. So again, I think I'm going to continue with that, perhaps off camera, get them perfect. Now people have said you can use, this is never going to focus under here, but this is a fiberglass pen, And it's got all these little bristles in it you can see real close up there. And I find that these scratch the hell out of a watch hand. So just be warned if you're going to try and have a go with those. Might be again okay on the back, but certainly not on the front. Okay, so here we are. I've removed as much lume as I can. This is the front side. So this is the side that we can see visually on the watch, and of course at 20 magnification it looks pretty damn bad. But we're going to try and improve that. The way I do it is just with a piece of pegwood, and sometimes I put a little bit of Mobius oil on the end of it, and I'm going to hopefully be able to film this. I've never done this before with a camera. So I just offer up the wood. I've now secured it on my microscope with a bit of ruddy coat, and yeah, it still moves a little bit too much for my liking, but I'm just going to keep polishing away like that. As you can see, quite a lot of that rot is going away. Now pegwood is pretty good stuff because it doesn't really scratch anything. It's soft enough. And there we go. So I'll just keep doing that. Again, hopefully this is maybe in focus for you. And some of this might be too tarnished. Now these hands, from experience, are sort of coated. So underneath the silver is just a plain piece of metal. And I've actually tried to polish these before with a bit of metal polish, and it basically took off the shine completely. So like for instance here where I don't know whether that's on film because I'm looking through the other hole. That to me looks like it's actually gone through the silver. So to keep doing it there might be a bad idea. But as you can see, I just keep going round, and any of that excess lume or the tarnish is slowly but surely coming off. So it's quite an extensive job. Let me just put the glasses back on and have a look at the camera. And it doesn't. I don't know what to think from what I can see that you can see now. But it is removing it off. It's going to be painstaking work, so I've got to keep going at this, and I'll try and improve this hand and come back and show you how good I've got it so far, because there are still some other finishing touches to do. Here we are with the hour hand, and I'm just using sort of my little block here with the holes in because the tube on the back end of the hand here sticks up so much. So to try and lay it flat, this is the best I can come up with. So you put it in there, and then again repeat the same procedure with the pegwood and see if you can remove all or any of the tarnish. I do worry a little bit because to me this still looks more like it's actually got underneath all of the chrome plating or whatever plating it is that they actually put on it. But the good thing is, I suppose, that we are at extreme magnification, so you're going to see absolutely all the blemishes in their glory, but at the end with the naked eye it should, I say should, be improved. So again, I'll keep working on this. They need a really good go and try and improve it as best I can. Here is the minute hand. I've done as best a job as I can, and now I'm going to bring in my next tool, which is this little thing here. Now this is a Bergen tool. I bought it because it said it was a dial and hand cleaner stroke polisher, and under one end, which is this end, I have to remember, is what looks like a little suede leather end. I don't know what you'd call that. And on the other one, we pull this lever and out comes a brush. And I put this on the Facebook group saying, look, I bought this tool, isn't this good? And the people out there who do photography said, oh, that looks a bit familiar. It looks just like something we buy to clean our lenses on cameras, only at least half the price. And sure enough, I looked on the internet and they are exactly the same. And without Bergen written on it, it is cheap as X. So it's about £10, I think, for one of those. This did cost me about £20. But you use this leather end to basically polish the hand. I've actually done this before with the hands in situ, but for now I'm just going to use it on this little, this is actually for dials. It's just another place easy to keep it flat. It really is difficult to keep the hand steady, and of course you're not normally doing this with a camera, but we just want to keep polishing. I'm not going to use any form of polish. I suppose you could if we really wanted to, but I'm always petrified of trying to remove the plating itself. So I'm just going to persevere with this, and then we'll put it back on the microscope and see the results. Hopefully it's a little bit better, because if it's not, this is a wasted video. So here we are back on the microscope, and as we can see, there is some tarnish or rust that's gone all the way through, which is unfortunate. It is quite shiny, although it doesn't come through on camera, and perhaps it will do when we zoom out later on. And there was quite a lot again down here, and that's all seems to be dissipated. The scratches aren't mine, I'm afraid. They were already there. So I will persevere, see if I can get it just that little bit better. You have to be so careful with the slot there that you don't accidentally snag it, because you'd easily snap the thing. But hopefully these are going to come out looking a bit better. It's just unfortunately it doesn't show the shine. So here we are on the dial looking at the indices, and kind of the same thing. Just see if any of that is going to loosen off or not. This one looks quite exceptional. And I think I might need to resharpen my pegwood. So there you go, I've kind of polished the indices. You may not see the difference, but it is a little bit shinier, certainly across the light. And if you buy one of these and try it for yourself, you will see for yourself that it does actually work. Now on this particular watch, certainly looking close up under the microscope, the tarnish or oxidization is quite severe, and some of it is never going to come off because the shiny plating, if you like, has actually worn away completely. So you could polish that forever, it's never going to come back. So you're only trying to improve. And again, we're under magnification, so when it's on your wrist you will hopefully notice the difference. So I'm going to loom the hands now, let that dry, and then of course fit the hands, and then we can have a look and see if I've actually improved it or not. So for my loom, I just use this stuff. I'll leave a link below. It's an eBay seller on the UK. This is the fine powder, and it does the job fine. So all I'm going to do is put a little bit in this container and then use some hobbyist clear coat to bind it, get it into the right consistency, and then I can apply it to the hands, which are just here. As you can see, maybe you can't, I need a lot more clear coat. Okay, we've got about the right consistency there, and then all I'm going to do is try and get some on the oiler itself, and then gently just let it run over the hand. You only want a thin layer. It needs to be the right consistency. Have it too thick, it won't go on very well. Have it too thin, and it'll potentially leak through the other side. There we go. Now I like to look at that carefully as well. I put it on this clear lid, and the reason for that is I can turn it over and I can examine what it's doing, and I can actually see straight away that the minute hand looks okay. Our hand, it's bled through. That's not coming through on camera. Sorry, I'll take my autofocus on. So it's looking a bit of a mess there, so I'll have to redo that one. But we'll persevere with that, let them dry, like I say, and next you'll see them fitted onto the watch. Right, here we go. We are 24 hours on. I've let the loom dry, and we'll fit the hands first of all, have a little look, and then perhaps to put it on the microscope to show how good or bad these have come out. And I'll be a little bit apprehensive, to be honest with you, about that. So I've already wound on the watch, so the data's just changed, and then that way of course we can have the date change at 12. And I'm just trying to line it up. So the hands are fitted. I've wound it on to 1 o'clock, and let's have a little closer look, as close as the camera will allow me to go at least. So there you go, you can see the loom is quite good. It's a good match to the loom that's on the dial. The indices have come up a little bit better. They are brighter but not perfect. and along with the hands as well. So from a visual perspective, I think it looks pretty good. It's certainly better than it was. Of course, the microscope is not going to lie, and that's going to tell us the truth. So let's put it on the microscope without further ado and just see if it's improved. I'm really nervous about this bit. Okay, the moment of truth. The minute hand has just gone past the 12 o'clock index. Let's go and find some hands. And here we go. This is the minute hand. So what do you think? It doesn't show the shine, of course. It comes out black on here almost. You can see the tarnish and the rust where it has actually gone through the plating, and that was the rot from previous. But we have improved it. The lume is looking nice and even to me, and of course it's pretty much not far off the right colour either, is it? So let's have a look at the hour hand, and again we can see that rust much better now, can't we? So it's quite sad really. Perhaps I picked a really bad example because these are a little bit past it. I do believe that the pegwood trick does work quite well. It has improved them. So I'm going to fit the movement to the watch, to the case, because it needs to go back in a case, and we'll finish this video off. So let's quickly show you the watch itself now it's done. So I've serviced this for a friend and obviously fixed the date problem on another video, and now the hands as well. It's a nice model. It has an inner rotating bezel. You just turn the crown for that, which is always a nice feature. The reference is 7019 6030 from 1970 by the looks of things. So pretty nice watch. Right guys, that's the end of the video, and I'll be keen to hear what you've got to say about it. Did I improve these hands or not? I kind of think I did. I brought the shiny bits back to where they need to be. Equally, there was far too much corrosion as it turns out, and I can't really improve that. But with the new lume, at least it does look the part. And of course we were looking at it on a microscope at ×20, and with your eyes like this, to be honest, I think it looks pretty good. So I'll try and take some photographs, and if I can get some good ones, I'll put them on the screen now and you'll be able to see what I mean. But yeah, definitely keen to hear from you, see what you think. So if you like the video, please give it a like. That helps YouTube tell people it's a great video, and they'll offer it up to more people. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing to see more videos like this. And I will be along very soon with more of my usual stuff really. I've been working on quite a big restoration project at the moment, which hasn't been going too well, and you'll be able to see that hopefully very soon. And lastly, t-shirt. I've got a new t-shirt out. If anybody's interested in this one, I found it quite funny, then it's available in a link below, and I'll also leave some tool links below as well for perhaps that hand polishing tool and maybe the lume, something like that as well, in case you want to pick any of those up. So I will see you in the next video, and that hopefully is going to be very soon. So bye for now. Thank you.